Next up, we have Delta Resources with Frank Candido. It just raised $5 million in flow through charity, with $2 million from their new director, if I'm correct.
52% subscribed by the board.
Right.
Can I plug this in?
Are you doing verify?
Yeah. Is that okay?
Yeah, the dongles there.
Yeah, sorry. Perfect. You want to do the presentation?
No, I'm just helping out.
No, I said you could do it.
Oh, no. It was good news, like I said.
Yeah. Is that showing now? Okay, well, I can get started while this sort of gets sorted out. So thank you for having me today. I haven't slept last night because I was in Zurich at SMI, and previous to that I was in London, and I'm really looking forward to going home. But I made the stop today for the one day, and I'm really happy to be here because I've had some fantastic meetings. Usually I start with my conclusion, and then I start at the beginning. So the concluding remarks would be why Delta? Why Delta? First of all, we made a discovery in October 2022 in the best possible location in Canada. If you had to choose a place on a map with your finger and point to it and say, I want a gold discovery there, you would point to where our property is. And by the way, sorry, it says SMI Zurich. I didn't have time to change it to Goldmesse, so sorry about that. Secondly, we already have a multi-million ounce deposit with only 36,000 meters of drilling, which sounds incredible, but it's true, and I will show that to you. Thirdly, we've accumulated a commanding land position of 308 square kilometers, making sure that no one could come in, because what we believe happened at our discovery can happen multiple times. So we're looking at multiple potential deposits. Fourthly, the board owns 21% of the stock, so we're fully aligned with our shareholders. Fifth, and I don't say this to sound promotional, but we have 7 producers under NDA, all of which have happened in the last 7 months. And all I want to indicate by that, because we're in no rush to do a deal with a producer, we're in no rush, we're definitely not looking at a JV or anything like that, but it just indicates that people see what we see at such an early point in time. And then lastly, we're fully financed with $7 million in the bank, and we'll begin drilling in January. So now that we've got that, I'm just going to go through it very, very quickly for you. So we have 131 million shares outstanding, and like I said, the board owns 21% of the shares. Thunderbay, if you don't know where it is, that's what it looks like on the map, but I'm going to zoom in for you. And Thunderbay is a port city, lots of labor. Trans-Canada Highway is that white road. That Trans-Canada Highway runs right north of our property. So road access is tremendous. Those yellow lines are 2 power lines that run north and south of our property. And the Ontario government is in the process of building a high voltage power line, which they're going to start building next year. And so we have plenty of power. There are no rivers, there's no lakes, there are no environmental issues whatsoever. So from the point of view of getting this mine permitted and environmentally and having the mine permitted, easy. So really fantastic location. I'm going to just zoom in. This is our land position now. We've actually built that all in the last year. We did it very quietly. It was all from prospectors and individual landowners. So it was difficult to do because a lot of pieces to put together, but we've done it, and it's done, and it's now 308 square kilometers. And I'll show you what I meant by what I said earlier about the potential for multiple deposits. So now I'm just going to, give you a drone view. That's the Trans-Canada Highway. You can sort of see the road. If I had to draw the deposit as it stands currently, the deposit would be right here. So, and as you can see, the trees have been cut and logged, and so it's really not an environmentally sensitive area. This is heading west, and then heading east, you can also see that we have a cell phone tower, so we have access to all, data and mobility. So at the end of, so remember, we made the discovery, our discovery hole was October 2022, and at the end of 2023, with only 25,000 meters of drilling, what we did is we went out and we hired a company to do a resource calculation. We're not publishing it. It's not 43-101. It's internal only. But we kind of wanted to see where we stand already with only 25,000 meters. And basically what was developing already at such an early stage was a deposit that's 2 million ounces, 2 kilometers of strike, down to 250 meters. Interestingly enough, even at such an early stage, in the core over here, that's about 1 kilometer of strike. Right in there, we have at least 1 million ounces, and the grade should grade higher than 2 grams per ton. So since then, in 2024, we actually drilled to the west, right over here, and we drilled to the east. So we've extended the strike now to about 2.5 kilometers, and we've actually extended it down to 300 meters, which is about the extent of an open pit mine. So the plan going forward is to continue to drill this. It remains open in every direction, but one thing we're going to want to do as part of this drill campaign, and I'm not the one who uses these words. It was written in the Haywood report that came out 3 weeks ago. Pierre Vaillancourt of Haywood visited our property, and he's making the comparison to our deposit, and it's going to sound crazy, to Canadian Malartic. And what he's looking at is he's saying there's many similarities to this orogenic ore body that we have here to that of Canadian Malartic. So on that note, if you know anything about Canadian Malartic, and I'll show you in a second, we're just going to fast forward here. It's, it's the stockwork of mineralization. This just points to where, the gold mineralization is in the veins. We get a lot of VG, as you see there. What gets our geologists very excited is this. You see quartz veining when it cross-cuts the way it does. This indicates that this is multi-generational. It's a very, very old system. It's had a lot of time to percolate. It's the essential ingredient to a very large ore body. So what he meant by that is geological setting is the same, timing of the mineralization is the same, gold mineralization looks the same, alteration looks very similar. And so this is Canadian Malartic. The open pit portion of Canadian Malartic is here, and then the rest of it is underground. Where I showed you that, that 2-gram core is, we're definitely going to want to drill a couple of deep holes in this exploration campaign to see what's going on beneath there, because we believe that we have the potential to see much higher grades and that this ore body can grow substantively, both in open pit and in underground. And so that'll be part of that drill campaign. So we just superimposed Delta with 36,000 meters of total drilling. That includes the initial holes at the very beginning when we didn't even know what we had. And so we're really just scratching the surface of what we have, but you can already see a picture developing. So moving along, this is the property package now, 308 square kilometers. In fact, we closed another deal 2 days ago. We didn't even announce it because we didn't issue any shares for it, but the other company announced that they sold it to us, but we're done. We've got everything we need. But the reason you would ask us, they'd say, well, how did you guys get this and no one else saw this? It was a topographic high right off the highway. How did Delta get it? We got it off a prospector in 2019, and we started to drill it immediately after, which is almost rare. I think a month after we acquired it, we drilled. And the reason why this entire belt stayed empty is because right here is the Inco mine. Inco controlled this belt. This mine here was a copper nickel mine, and no one entered this belt looking for gold. Certainly, since Inco controlled it, no one could enter it, and really it was just known as a copper nickel belt. But what really is interesting is if you look at where Eureka is, which is up here, this is called the Shabandawan Greenstone Belt. It's the contact between the sediments and the volcanics. Where that contact exists is where the mineralization is. 50 kilometers west of us is Goldshore with 6 million ounces on that same belt. To the south, the Ontario government had indicated to us that that same contact existed here and existed here. So we went to take a look, and sure enough, not only did we see things that we really liked, but we actually managed to get our hands on a technical report written by Inco and look at the stuff that Inco left behind, which is almost unbelievable to us. But this is called the I-zone. These are actual drill intercepts from 1988 and 1989 in a sub called Inco Gold that only existed for 2 years before Inco got acquired and they dropped all the exploration. But you can see some really nice drill intercepts there, and these are all at surface. And they were serious because they did some metallurgy and they had 96.2% recovery. And then a little company in 2008, just before the big market crash, came in, did a bulk sample, and 1,000 kilogram bulk sample got 10 grams. Now, Inco found all these discoveries over 24 kilometers of that belt, and just laying there for someone to pick it up, and we did pick it up. So certainly as part of our next drill campaign, we will continue to focus on Eureka to build out that open pit potential. We will drill a couple of deeper holes to see what happens deeper at Eureka, but we are definitely going to drill a couple of holes here at the I zone. Just want to show you one more thing on a different map. This is the I zone over here. Now we're going to go 3.5 kilometers west here to the AF zone. That's 3.5 kilometers. And we're just going to focus in on what Inco also left there. Now these are grab samples, mind you, but when you get 13 grab samples that grade between 10 and 800 grams per ton, and you get, oh, I think my iPad died. Anyways, the point is, we're talking about 75 grab samples that are grading easily over a gram, 2 grams, 10 grams, 20 grams. So the point is that Delta's fully financed. We'll begin drilling in January. We could begin drilling in December, but we don't want to stop the drill for the Christmas holidays and have the lines freeze, etc. We'll begin in January. We'll likely announce 10,000 meters as the initial, but we're going to drill up to 25,000 meters continuously. Whether it's 1 or 2 drills, we haven't determined yet. We have a technical meeting next week to determine that, and we will announce that. The board owns 21% of the stock, as I told you, so we're fully aligned with our shareholders. We have a strategy. We have a lot of people looking at the company, and we think that next year will be a transformative year for Delta. Thank you very, very much.
Thanks, Frank.
Sorry about that's what happens when you don't sleep at night. You don't plug in.
Just one question for me. You're talking about deeper drilling, and I think current mineralization is to 300 meters, right?
Yeah.
So how deep would be the deeper drilling?
So that'll be determined during the technical meeting, but I'm going to assume it'll be 500 to 700 meters. Okay. Yeah. So the hole's deep enough. So and we fully expect to intersect on those holes. So we're very, very bullish on that. Okay. And yeah. So we have our work cut out for us, but yeah, we're in very good shape.
Thanks, Frank. I'm sure you're available for any questions afterwards.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Yeah, thanks, Frank.